Indonesia steps up further partnership with some European countries aimed to develop telecommunication technology in Indonesia.
Last week, Indonesia's Minister of Communication and Informatics, Johnny G. Plate, visited Barcelona, Spain to join Mobile World Conference 2022, where he involved with a current advance of technology, advance of telecommunication technologies in the world. Indonesia now is preparing 5G technology infrastructure and plans this for any purpose, including medic, radar vehicle, and ambitious development of Indonesia's new capital. Indonesia also spent a meeting with Japan Vice Minister of Digital in Barcelona. Both discussed digital partnership and international telecommunication in recent times. Minister of Communication and Informatics Johnny G. Plate continued his trip to France to visit Thales Alenia Space, where Indonesia's satellites Satria 1 and 2 were developed. And he then had a meeting with French Finance Minister to discuss various issues. The delegation is also scheduled to have some more visit to the UK.
In fact, when you have for this kind of usage, and here again, we have a ground control segment to be delivered as well. And at the end of summer. At the end of summer.
Well, Indonesia plans to develop more advanced telecommunication tech infrastructure across the country. Some plans have shown good progress, with more and more broadband tower services built in recent years. Indonesia's Minister of Communication and Informatics has been spending almost a week visiting some European countries to strengthen partnership and also investment in telecommunication techs.
He is now in London to get updates about it. We have Yusrin Zatalini in London to report more. Hello, Zata, good to have you on the show. Zata, we hope to see a kickoff for potential partnership in technology. But what have been accomplished so far during Minister Johnny G. Plate's visit to Spain and France?
Yeah, in Spain, the minister had a meeting with the Japan. In Barcelona, Spain, the ministry attended the Mobile World Conference and had a meeting with the digital vice minister of Japan to discuss more about the international telecommunication collaboration. And then the minister and the general directors were also attending the conference about the Mobile World Conference. And then after that, the minister and the general directors continued to visit Cannes and Paris and to see the progress of Indonesia satellites Satria 1 and being developed in Thales Alenia Space. And the partnership is about with the Ministry of Finance of France and France Investment Bank, discussed about the government cloud investment, also talked about the partnership in developing Satria 1, including the upcoming satellite Satria 2, which the ministry is still looking for the best opportunity to produce and develop a Satria 2 satellite, and the Ministry of Finance of France give a very positive and flexible support in the funding structure. And then the satellite for Satria 1 itself is, progressing very well in the developing and in the producing stage, and the minister said the development of satellite is reaching approximately 60 to 70% that will be launched in Florida on the second quarter of 2023. And the Satria satellite itself has very huge capacity that will provide 150 gigabyte per second capacity that can cover all island in Indonesia. The purpose of Satria 1 itself is an answer to digital divide challenges in Indonesia, where in the future the people have the access to the internet equally, even to rural areas in Indonesia. And then it is said right now that the government is in the process of digital technology acceleration in order to provide the access to public services for all people in all island in Indonesia. And then for Satria 1 itself, the government is collaborating with the France company, Thales Alenia Space, as the factory that developed the Satria 1, and said that Satria 1 is a very complicated yet had a high performing satellite, and seeing the geographical condition of Indonesia, it is very complicated, it is very complex, but they have a very good facility and resources to produce the best satellite for us, Indonesia. And then they assured that the satellite will be launched on time and the next year, hopefully. And right now, the minister also talks about developing Satria 2 and to double the capacity of the service of Satria 1. And meanwhile, in the UK, right now, the minister will have some meeting with the Airbus and the UK Export Finance.
So talk about 5G potential. Could we see any potential partnership as Indonesia needs to adopt 5G as soon as possible? Has there been any specific partnerships being discussed or even signed so far, Zata?
Yeah, the 5G facility is also supported, will be supported fully by the satellite once it is launched. And right now, the partnership that has been built by the ministry and the France government is about the cloud government that would be used in Indonesia later on. And then the next partnership is about supporting Indonesia national broadcast station to funding. And then now, in the 72 years of bilateral partnership between Indonesia and France in trade and investment, education, defense, social culture, climate change, and in the future, the government expects to expand the relationship to micro business industry to hopefully can enter France's market.
Yusrin, I'd like to return on the point of the main agenda of the minister in London at the moment. You mentioned about a few meetings scheduled. Can you please be more specific on what is expected to be achieved during Minister G. Plate's meeting in London?
Yeah, it is true that we are just arrived in London and straight to heading to the Airbus company. And then right now the ministry is currently have a meeting with the Airbus to discuss about the possibility of in deploying Satria 2 and 3 on the next project with Airbus. Meanwhile, Satria 1 is developing with Thales Alenia Spaces, and right now the government still open and look for the best offer and possibility to develop the next Satria 2 and 3. And right now, the ministry, Johnny G. Plate, is having a lunch meeting with the Airbus to discuss further more about that and would have a factory visit in the Airbus. And then the following day, the minister will have a meeting with the UK finance with the UK Export Finance to discuss and talk about Satria also in the data center funding. So right now, as you can see, and as I mentioned before, that the government is preparing about the data center and data cloud that would be deployed in Indonesia, and in the visiting countries between France, Spain, and then UK. Right now is they talk also about the data or cloud funding to be deployed in Indonesia to look for the best possibility to fund and for the investment. And then because apparently this is going to be the first time the minister will have a collaboration with the UK government in a telecommunication infrastructure and then a digitalization industry. So this is going to be a huge thing for us to support our digital and then telecommunication accelerating in Indonesia. So it will support and covers all Indonesia to access to the internet and to reach more equality in accessing internet and information in Indonesia, hopefully.